Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I welcome all of you back to another Rage video, where tonight, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a good 3 years since the last time we listened to Ningen, or The Human Chair, for the benefit of those who have the discernible advantage of understanding Japanese. Or at least better than I do, at any rate. So, yeah, like I said, the last time we picked up on these guys was about 3 years ago, and I kind of feel bad that it's taken me as long as this to get back to these guys. But rather than wallow, let's actually do something about it. And what better way of doing it than what we're going to do is we're actually going to go back to where it all began. Or at least where it began in terms of listening to these three fine gentlemen. I think my first impression was that, is it the Japanese equivalent of Rush? Because if you guys didn't know, I do like me my Rush. But it's ironic because I still got Bravado ringing in my head from about 20 minutes ago. So let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we? And see what our boys have got in store. Because if memory serves me correctly, these guys certainly evoke a lot of traditional Japanese garb, and also provoke a lot of I'm pretty sure one of them is I'm sure one of them doesn't, but I think one of them dresses like a is it called a renshi or something like that? But that's probably not true, actually, because renshi is it's a form of yokai, but that's more in Chinese mythology. It's a Chinese vampire zombie type arrangement, as far as I'm concerned. Incredibly pale skin. Usually, I think they have like a sort of bandana around their eyes, and they sort of like walk by sticking their hands out and hopping back and forth. You didn't think I knew it all, did you? But that's besides the point. You didn't even know that I knew that yokai meant monster. You never know where stuff like that might come in useful, ladies and gentlemen, which may shock you. But it won't shock you as much as hearing a little bit of Heartless Scat. So, let's do it. Oh, but that looks... I can't tell if it's the kimonos, I was going to say clogs there for a second, because, well, they look... I'm sure it's got a different name anyway, but it's... Oh, it's such a weird, but it's such a fascinating assortment. You dress like you dress like a guy who looks like a retired member of the Yakuza. You've got their bodyguard Eagle, and you also got somebody who looks like he spent the last 60 years of his entire life learning how to control the wind, which is ironic, really, because I've heard a lot of stories about specific animals that the Japanese worship, like the deer, for example, because I'm pretty sure that's more to do with Honda Katsu or something like that. Memory is like all over the place and stuff like that, but I do quite like a lot of ancient Japanese history. It's garbed in so much of their culture, like of order and discipline, and, well, then there's this almost countercultural balance. Hey!
寂しくしくじりばかりのこの私に満ち足りる日は来るだろうか夢の叶う日あるだろうか仏様シャバダバディオシャバダバディオシャバダバディオ
Bubble.
私の明日に光を
Yeah, honestly, that was a lot of fun, ladies and gentlemen. And I think again, the rationale for understanding where it all comes from is also beginning to make a lot more sense. I wasn't necessarily going to say that I remember if these guys were Buddhists or not, but it's actually not particularly uncommon, by the way, in metal music that there's people who ask questions about the gods they worship or about religion in general. It's very very it's not a prerequisite, but it's one of those things where it makes for a really really interesting discussion. And certainly I could imagine that if let's say if there was a band and it was full of people who worshipped Islam and they started questioning exactly what they, I'm pretty sure there would be a riot. But it's not like exactly as if it's not been tried. It's bound to have been tried maybe somewhere in the world. However, when it comes to Ningen Isu and you see these three fine, well-aged gentlemen, and yes, I think for their skill, their craft, their workmanship, sometimes I think the idea about, well, what exactly is there at the very end of this? If they've given everything to their work, then what is there to gain when it's all said and done? And again, it's never unheard of whenever, bands do this. But I must also say, I think deep down inside, they know exactly what these what it was all about. I think in some strange way, it was never not known to these guys. Because they play almost like Japanese Judas Priest, and I reckon these guys they're probably almost the same age as, or at least been going as long as Judas Priest. Because I've heard even I know what his name was too, but I know he's approaching nearly his mid-70s, and again, this shows you how long it's been since the last. Rob Halford, he's been still going. They've been going strong since 1969, and Halford is still going, and 74 years of age, born 25th of August 1951, and honestly, you get a recommendation from the likes of Halford, you are absolutely in, because I'm pretty sure Halford has made. He's praised an awful lot of bands from the East, and it probably wouldn't surprise me if Halford also gave his praise for Ningen Isu as well, because it's absolutely what they play for. Because what else do you think it's all about, eh? Anyway, so like I was saying, you can either go through life and you can question everything about what this is all about, or you can go through life and merely just try to make your own make your own post, and to say maybe this was what it's all about. Maybe the struggle continues, whether you dress like a Buddhist monk, a Meiji period scholar from, let's say, the 19th century, or even like an ex-member of the Yakuza. Who knows, ladies and gentlemen? But what I do think is that it's been far too long, and I'm glad we came across these guys again. And I think that's just about all I've got to say. So let's hope the next one we will get some answers. And I hope to see all of you guys again next time. Thank you.